The NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
And welcome back to the NFL Today. Right now, the Dolphins and Ravens are getting set for their matchup. And as we approach kickoff, let's send you out live to Baltimore with our announcers, Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, and Chris Fisher. Gentlemen.
December football has arrived, descending on playoff hopefuls like the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. Heading into the home stretch with an important game today. The first place Ravens will have the hardest remaining schedule in the league after today. The Dolphins, as of today, hold the final AFC wildcard slot, exceeding expectations with the first-year head coach. All serving as our backdrop on a 46-degree afternoon here in festive Baltimore. Happy holidays, everyone, with NFL MVP Rich Gannon, Chris Fisher on our sideline. This is Kevin Harlan. Did you think that these two teams, Rich, would be in this position this time of the year?
Kevin, not initially, but the good news is both these teams control their own playoff destiny, and both have already overcome some adversity this season. Remember, Miami started 1-4 before winning 6 straight. And how about the Ravens? They didn't win a single game in the month of October. They've now won 3 of their last 4.
And the Ravens began 3-0. You mentioned Miami. Let's talk about them. They have their longest winning streak, Rich, in the last 11 years. What are they doing right?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons why they have reeled off 6 straight wins. I think you have to start with Jay Ajayi in the running game. He has been a workhorse, averaging 122 yards a game during the streak. You combine that with Ryan Tannehill, who's done a much better job with his decision-making, as he's thrown just the 1 interception in his last 173 attempts. And the defense has done their part by taking the ball away. Miami is a +9 in the turnover department the last 6 weeks.
Helping the Dolphin cause today the return to the left side of their offensive line from injury, but 3-time Pro Bowl center Mike Pouncey is still out with an injury. That's the offensive side of the story. Let's now go to the defensive side of the story. What does the tape tell you there for the Dolphins?
Well, I think defensive coordinator Vance Joseph has done an outstanding job in his first season with this group. Now, they've had some challenges early, but they have really come on and played some great football over the last 6 weeks. Scoring is down. They're getting off the field on 3rd down. And most importantly, they are taking the ball away on defense.
Now for the Baltimore Ravens, coming in at 6-5. They've got a terrific defense. They're tied for first with Pittsburgh in the north. They welcome back their best cornerback today, Jimmy Smith, who rejoins that number 2 D. You've watched a lot of tape of the defense of Baltimore. What's the tape tell you?
Well, the tape tells me that the Ravens have been relying on their defense all season, and no one's really had any success running the ball against this group. Just check out these numbers. They're first in run defense, second in yards, second on 3rd down percentage, and 4th in points. But it starts with their personnel. They have great pass rushers. Suggs leads the team with 8 sacks, and Dumerville returned to the lineup last week and made his presence felt with a game-saving strip sack versus Andy Dalton. And I think up front, they have a couple big men who have been unsung heroes this season. Timmy Jernigan has excellent quickness off the ball, which allows him to penetrate and split double teams. He's been extremely disruptive. And I think you also look at a guy like Brandon Williams. He is a handful at the nose tackle position. He's constantly taking on double teams at the point of attack. He is so tough to move off the ball. If you have a great 3-4 defense, you better have a great nose tackle. The Ravens have one in Brandon Williams.
Rich, this now sets up the tools for success, presented by the Home Depot.
Well, when Ryan Tannehill needs a big play, he usually looks in the direction of Jarvis Landry, who leads the team with 64 receptions and 733 receiving yards. And likewise, Joe Flacco has a couple deep threats in Mike Wallace and Brashard Perryman, who have what I would describe as rare and unusual speed at the wide receiver position. Now let's check out the keys for Miami. They can't afford another slow start. They have the worst first quarter point differential in the league this season. And finally, for Baltimore, they need more balance on offense with their running game, as Flacco is averaging 41 pass attempts a game, way too many.
The Miami Dolphins trying to win on the road in December against a contending team. The Ravens tied for first with Pittsburgh in the north, and they've already beaten the Steelers. Dolphins, Ravens, next on CBS. It's a 47-degree day here in Maryland. Minimal wind, cloudy skies. As we welcome in our sideline reporter this afternoon and say hello to Chris Fisher.
Thanks, Kevin. After missing practice all week with a back injury, Dolphins wide receiver Devontae Parker worked out on the field early this morning with wide receivers coach Sean Jefferson. They had Parker wear shoulder pads as Jefferson pressed and jammed Parker at the line to give them more of a feel on how he feels. Head coach Adam Gase kept a close eye on the workout. He has to be pleased to have his top threat Parker active for today's game. Kevin?
He's been great, Chris. Thank you very much. Over the last 3 games, he's caught 16 balls. He will not be 100%, but he's out there today for the Fins. The Dolphins won the toss. They've chosen to get the second half kickoff, so the Ravens will receive. And the terrific Devin Hester is back, getting healthier by the day. And kicking off for Miami will be Andrew Franks. We saw this Dolphin team a week ago, Rich, take care of San Francisco 31-24. The Ravens beat Cincinnati 19-14. And away we go from Baltimore. Hester from the 4 for the Ravens. And brought down on the play by Bakari Rambo on a 17-yard return. Well, there's a look at quarterback Joe Flacco, the number 29th ranked quarterback in the NFL with rating. Pace right now for 16 touchdown passes, which Rich would be his lowest total since his rookie year.
Yeah, Kevin, look, he's gotten off to a slow start this season, but the Ravens are counting on the fact that he's had some strong December finishes going back to their Super Bowl run in 2012.
With a 1st and 10, he's got his receiver, Kamar Aiken, who catches his 22nd ball of the year. It's a gain of 12 on the play. He's up to the 33 and hit by Paysinger. On the offensive line, Yanda has made the switch to left guard. Dukas steps in at the right guard. Rick Wagner's coming off his 2 best games of the season at the right tackle. Wide receiver Mike Wallace, a former Dolphin, is on a pace for a career high in receptions. He has become the Ravens' best deep threat. And a gain of 12 on the first play. It's 1st and 10 again from the 33 for Flacco. Underneath, and he goes to the tight end. That's Dennis Pitta. Brought down by Kiko Alonso on a gain of 8 out to the 41-yard line. And Ndamukong Suh having a more impactful second season with the Dolphins on defense after the big contract he signed a year ago. Just saw Alonso. He's the leading tackler for the Dolphins, battling a hamstring today. In the secondary, Byron Maxwell was benched early in the season, but he's played well during the 6-game winning streak. The number 2 rated cornerback after his performance a week ago. 2nd down and 2. And a handoff to here, Terrence West, the leading rusher. Over 600 yards on the season, picks up 6 on the play. He's up to the 47, brought down by Paysinger once again, and a 1st down.
Kevin, I really think they've got to be able to run the football a little bit more effectively. They've been talking about having more balance on offense. They wanted to run it more. It's one of the big reasons why they made the coordinator change, and yet they ranked 31st in first half rushing attempts.
We have the 1st and 10. In stride, Steve Smith, brought down by Rambo with a catch and run inside the 30 of Miami. A good gain, 23 yards, a Raven 1st down.
Well, Steve Smith provides the spark for this offense. Just a little slant route, an angle route coming off a motion. Lippett doesn't handle it. This is what they want. They want to be able to attack in the middle of the field. Keep in mind, Jelani Jenkins, their inside linebacker, he's not playing today. And Kiko Alonso, I think, Kevin, is a liability in coverage against these backs, tight ends, and even receivers working in the middle of the field.
Rich Flacco looks sharp, 3 of 3 so far. He's hit 3 different receivers.
We talked about him playing better football, more consistent football in the month of December.
Quick throw, nice catch. Mike Wallace on that 1st down toss. Brought down on the play by a couple, including Lippett. It's a 13-yard pickup, and they're down to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, I love when we visit with Joe Flacco. The one thing he doesn't lack is confidence. He felt like they really matched up well on the perimeter in terms of Mike Wallace, even Brashad Perryman, really attacking down the field. I wouldn't be surprised to see Joe Flacco go after some of these corners and even these safeties with some deep balls early in this one.
It's a 1st and 10 for Joe Flacco with the Wagner block at that right tackle. Now here comes Wake, and there goes Flacco, and it's incomplete downfield to Steve Smith. With the coverage on the play by Abdul Quddus.
A good look at Cameron Wake, and he is a handful. That's going to be a real good matchup. You look at him against the right tackle of the Ravens, Ricky Wagner. He may need some help. The problem that you have with Wake is that he and Sue play on the same side so much. It's hard. You can't double team both of them, but what you'll see quite a bit is teams slide in the protection to 93 and 91.
180!
It's a 2nd down and 10 in the 7th play of the game-opening drive by Baltimore, right in the middle and inside the 5. The catch by Darren Waller, only his 7th reception of the season. The tackle made by Rambo. It's a 15-yard pickup, and it's 1st and goal.
Yeah, and they're going to attack in the middle of the field. We talked about the struggles with the linebackers, whether it's man or zone coverage. Look at the opening right between the 2 linebackers. I mean, that's easy pickings for a quarterback like Flacco.
What a drive. They've gone 12 through the air to Aiken. 23-yard catch and run by Smith. Wallace caught one for 13. Waller right there for 15. West in the backfield with Juszczyk. Wide open, the running back. That is a touchdown. Terrence West. 3-yard touchdown pass on a game-opening drive engineered by Joe Flacco.
Well, somebody has to get outside. Somebody has to make sure that they have containment. You look at the corner, he's going to step back inside, and when he does, it's too late. I mean, that is just too easy for a quarterback like Joe Flacco.
Just surgically working down the middle of the field with Aiken, Smith, Wallace, and Waller, all with double-digit yard receptions. An 8-play drive, a little over 4 minutes on the first quarter clock. Here's Justin Tucker, who had a big game last week. He puts one through in a 7-0 lead for Baltimore, opening possession of the game. Just under 11 to go in the first. Joe Flacco throws his 12th touchdown pass. And for the first time this year, the running back West with the touchdown reception. Rich, Joe Flacco has the second most pass attempts in the NFL and back at Drew Brees. On that 8-play drive, he threw 7 times.
Yeah, you look at it, though, Kevin, what a terrific start. 6 completions to 6 different receivers. He was 6 of 7. He's looking at those fronts and coverages that he's seen in that first drive. But you always talk about scripting for success, getting off to a good start. Just what they did on offense.
After the 3-yard touchdown pass, here's the ensuing kickoff, and it's going to go in the end zone and kept there. Jakeem Grant will leave it in the end zone. A touchback to the 25 for quarterback Ryan Tannehill. And 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Tannehill is having, Rich, his best season in his career.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of improvement from him, Kevin. Certainly in the last 6 weeks, I think he's making quicker decisions with the ball. He's been better working through the progressions. I think his ball placement and accuracy has improved as well in Adam Gase's system.
Number 25 offense. And it's 1st down and 10. It's Ajayi in the backfield, and he gets the call and tried to cut and slipped on the play. And Jernigan may have forced that cut. And it's a loss of a yard on the play. On the offensive line, they've started 4 different left tackles, 3 different left guards, and 3 different centers. But it's getting healthier. Albert and Tunsil are back today. And the wide receiver Devontae Parker is in a back injury. He's been the #1 target over the last 3 games. By the way, that Raven run defense is #1, so it may be a lot of passing for Gase and Tannehill today. 2nd down 11. Tannehill on the move, and he hits his tight end, Deion Sims, who's out to the 40-yard line and brought down by Mosley. Sims had 4 receptions last week against San Francisco. 15-yard catch and run to the 40.
I think it's going to be important for the Dolphins to move Ryan Tannehill, change his launch point against a very good Baltimore pass rush. Some boots, some nakeds, some rolls to get him outside the pocket.
Eric Weddle had the tackle on the last play to the 40-yard line. On the first drive in the pistol right now for Tannehill in Miami. 1st and 10. This is Jay Ajayi. And wrapped up and brought down on the play by Elvis Dumerville on a gain of 5, and he's up to the 45-yard line. The defense, #2, Brendan Williams is their best lineman. Rich told you about that in the open. Perhaps the most important defensive player for Baltimore. Linebacker Zachary Orr leads the Ravens in tackle, and he's #4 in the AFC. And the Ravens' best cornerback, we talked about that. Jimmy Smith returns after missing the past 2 games with a back injury. 2nd down and 5. Ajayi clogged up. Weddle's got a beat on him, brings him down after he broke a tackle of Gerard Powers. Weddle brings him down, but the run takes him into Baltimore territory at about the 36 and a 19-yard run.
Well, the thing you love about J.J., he can create yards where they don't exist. I mean, his vision, his patience, I think are his strong points. And he's a type of back, Kevin, that you have to get a lot of hats to the football. It's important to gang tackle J.J. at the line of scrimmage.
7th leading rusher in the NFL coming into today. They give him a breather now. Empty backfield on 1st and 10 at the Raven 36. The time for Tannehill. And he goes to his receiver, Jarvis Landry. 65th catch of the season. That's number 10 in the league. He picks up 5. Jimmy Smith brings him down at the 31-yard line of Baltimore.
Well, something's got to give. You look at these numbers since week 6, J.J.'s production, and then you look on the other side of it, you're talking about the best run defense in football. They just about dare you to run the football, Kevin. And in talking to Adam Gase last night, Ryan Tannehill, and even J.J., they're not scared. They're going to try and pound the football at this Ravens front 7.
Ajayi back in, 2nd down and 5. Ajayi right here. Got by Suggs. And brought down by Brandon Williams as he corkscrews for 3. Reaches down to the 28-yard line of the Ravens.
I think Ajayi, Kevin, is the key to it. If it gets to a point where they become one-dimensional, where they cannot run the football and they have to throw it, that is a problem for Tannehill and the Dolphins against this Ravens pass rush. They have to have balance.
And Ajayi is terrific after he gets hit, like he's number 1 in the NFL in breaking tackles.
Yards after contact, and he's a workhorse. He's a type of back that gets stronger as the game goes on.
And he's shown that all season long. 3rd down and 2. Drake in the backfield. Along with Damian Williams. Williams offers a block. And that pass broken up on the play by the rookie Tavon Young out of Temple. On that 3rd and 2. So it's 4th down on the Dolphins' first drive. And the kicking unit comes out.
You worry about these receivers, Kevin, wearing different cleats. Remember, we talked about the middle of the field between the numbers was replaced this week. Clearly, he slips coming out of the break.
So here's Andrew Franks, who is in his 2nd season out of RPI, a 46-yard field goal try. The wind, again, is minimal here in Baltimore this afternoon. And he will miss wide left. The defense holds. They limit him to a 46-yard field goal, which Franks pulls. Timeout, 6:54.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Crab cakes and dolphin on the menu here in Baltimore. 1st and 10. After the missed field goal by Miami. Flacco, Smith for a 2nd time. Wrapped up in the secondary by Bobby McCain. Gain of 5 out to the 41.
Let's take a look at the scouting report, Kevin. I think Baltimore offensively, the threat of the big play. I think if you're a defense, the speed of Wallace and Perryman gets your attention. The weakness right now is the running game. It's been a problem all season. They're 28th, get up 87 yards a game. The defensive line's the strength of the Miami Dolphins, and yet they're just 30th in run defense.
With a 2nd and 5, in stride Dennis Pitta. Surgically repaired hips, tackled from behind by Rambo again. A 27-yard catch and run. Flag has been thrown. Ball right
Holding.
now.
Number 62 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
DeCoste playing the right guard.
Well, you look at Vladdy DeCoste right in the middle of your screen there. He gets tied up on Sue, and he's late getting back around. Just reaches out and grabs the shoulder pad of Jordan Phillips. Penalties have been a problem for the Ravens this season. second most behind the Raiders. And penalties from an offensive standpoint are drive killers. Big reason why they haven't been able to find rhythm offensively.
Dixon, the rookie, is in and back. Second down, 15. And the pressure was applied. An incomplete pass. Just the second thrown today by Joe Flacco. Pressure by Andre Branch.
We talk about the amount of money they've got tied up in this defensive line. Is a great defensive line. It's the strength of their defense right now. You think about Sue inside with Jordan Phillips. And of course, Cameron Wake on the outside. Andre Branch. Mario Williams comes in. You create a lot of one-on-one matchups in pass protection.
20th ranked defense overall in the NFL with a 3rd and 15 for Flacco. Once again, he's got his tight end. This is Pitta with Paysinger making the stop along with Alonso. It's a very close to a first down, but looks like a yard shy. 3rd and 15. They pick up 14 right there through the air to the tight end.
They're staying out there on the field. This is always a situation, Kevin, where you think about no snap, no play, a hard count. Look at Pitta. Look at the space they're giving the linebackers, the safety, giving a tight end like Dennis Pitta, who's the leading receiver for the Ravens this season. That's where Flacco wants to throw the football.
It's 4th and 1. The pitch out goes to the rookie Kenneth Dixon. He's got the first down as he breaks a tackle and is finally brought down by Michael Thomas in the secondary for Miami. 10-yard run on 4th and 1 to the Dolphin 44.
How about that aggressive call by John Harbaugh early? They faked the dive to Juszczyk. They just flicked the ball out wide to Kenneth Dixon. They're excited about this rookie running back. He was a 4-year starter at Louisiana Tech. Extremely productive.
1st and 10. Flacco again. And again, he's got his tight end, but this time it goes to Nick Boyle. First catch of the season for him. Let's go to New York.
2 hot teams added, Boomer.
All right, the Falcons up 7-0. Here comes Spencer Ware. 3-yard touchdown run, key play, 35-yard completion to Travis Kelce. Cairo Santos, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, misses the extra points. Falcons lead 7-6 over the Chiefs.
Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
James, thank you. It is a first down after the 20-yard toss and a first catch of the year for Nick Boyle. Here's a 1st and 10. Nice acrobatic grab by Kamar Aiken. And he's brought down by Michael Thomas in the secondary with a gain of 11. And again, the passing of Flacco right on the screws. They're down to the 14 of Miami.
Well, the Dolphins have to do something different. They have to come up and challenge these receivers and tight ends at the line of scrimmage. They're giving them too much space. They're playing off coverage, and that's giving Flacco a lot of time to get the ball out of his hands quickly and give these guys some space and some time to get into the transition of the run.
10 of 12, Rich. He's been known for these short passes, but they're a little bit more intermediate and getting some good yards after catch, too. 1st and 10. Good block by Wagner at the right tackle. Here comes Flacco and throws it wisely away with the pressure applied by Earl Mitchell off the defensive line of Miami.
It's a smart decision by Joe Flacco on 1st and 10. Throw it away. The decision making, so important in this part of the field. The cardinal rules in this part of the field: you can't turn it over and you can't take a sack.
And Flacco has only thrown 1 interception the last 9 quarters, Rich. Coming off a high percentage game last week against Cincinnati, 25 of 36. He started 10 of 13 today.
I think he's feeling better, Kevin. There was a scramble last week against Cincinnati where he awkwardly slid again, but it just shows you that the explosiveness is coming back.
2nd and 10, touchdown. Two possessions, 2 touchdowns. Dennis Pitta, his first touchdown reception of the season.
Well, this is a problem right now for these Miami linebackers. You look at Paysinger, he can't handle these tight ends. And Pitta is Flacco's guy. He's their leading receiver. The quarterback has a real comfort level and a trust throwing him the ball in the middle of the field.
And you mentioned Paysinger having a hard time, the linebacker for the Dolphins. Jelani Jenkins is out with an injury. And because he can't go, Paysinger seeing more time, and they've gone at him today. The extra point, and Tucker makes it 14-zip with 3:17 to go. Joe Flacco has thrown 2 touchdown passes on 2 long drives to begin the game. The first place Ravens on top of Miami. Back in Baltimore, NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLShop.com today and save 25% off the official store of the NFL. NFLShop.com. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, Chris Fisher on the sideline. On that drive, he went to Pitta, Flacco did, for 14 through the air. Boyle, a tight end, for 20 through the air. Aiken caught a couple for 11. Dixon caught one for 10 with a run. They got a first down on a 4th and 1. Here's the ensuing kickoff. And it's picked up by Jakeem Grant. Well, that's another slip player, Rich. We've seen a couple of them. We talked about the condition of the field before the game. 18-yard return. Joe Flacco, 11 of 14. 2 possessions, 2 touchdown passes, including to his tight end, Dennis Pitta, right there.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dodge. Domestic, not domesticated. And by FedEx, helping small businesses simplify e-commerce.
Two Raven possessions, 2 touchdown passes by Flacco. First place Baltimore. 6 consecutive win Miami. It's 1st and 10. Second Dolphin possession. The fake to Ajayi. He moves inside Suggs. And it's the running back outside, and Weddle ushers him out of bounds near the 20-yard line on a gain of about 6.
Kevin, you mentioned players slipping. We talked about the middle of the field having been replaced on Monday. But it's the Dolphin players that are slipping. Landry on the key 3rd down, Grant on the kickoff return. And I always, as a player, I always watched what the home team was wearing in terms of their cleats. I wanted to see if they were wearing 1/2-inch, 3/4 cleats. We talked to the equipment guy. That may be something the Dolphins think about doing, making some changes to their cleats here in the first quarter.
You'd always pay attention to that.
Always check to see what the home team wore.
2nd down for Ajayi, the 7th leading rusher in the NFL, as we said. Brought down on the play with no gain. Judon makes the stop, and he's out to the 20-yard line. Chris Fisher's on our sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. Linebacker Kiko Alonso has left the game. He has questionable return with an ankle injury. He leads the Dolphins right now with tackles. Kevin?
He has that hand injury. We'll be keeping track of that as Zachary Orr made that last tackle. One of the top tacklers in the AFC for the Baltimore D. 3rd and 4. Six in the secondary for the Ravens. Tannehill throws underneath, and it's caught by the running back, Damian Williams, who is tripped up by Orr. He picks up 6 on 3rd and 4. That is a first down for Miami to the 26.
And when you have a left tackle that's missed the last couple weeks, what do? You put a tight end in there for some presence to help him out. Brandon Albert had surgery on that left wrist, so they're going to be very protection conscious early with Ryan Tannehill.
Those hands and that wrist pretty important for a lineman, aren't they, Rich?
Absolutely, particularly when you're going against number 55, Terrell Suggs.
He's got a cast on it today, so it limits him what he can do with that left hand. But the 2-time Pro Bowler Albert at the left tackle. Looked like somebody moved. No yellow, 1st and 10. And they go right there to Kenny Stills. He has caught some big passes this year, long passes. It's Jimmy Smith with the coverage and the tackle, and it's a gain of 12, and he's up to the 37.
Let's take a look at the scouting report. The running game for the Dolphins with Jay Ajayi. Big reason why they've won 6 straight. 3rd down has been a problem for the Dolphins, 27th. You look at the Baltimore defense, the run defense, they're number 1 for a reason. They're physical, and they tackle well as a unit. If there's a weakness, I think it's the big plays. They've given up way too many big plays this season.
Look at this, 4 receivers to the bottom of your screen into the Baltimore nickel. Grant in motion, the fake jet sweep, and they go inside, and the pass to Landry. Belted a couple times, or finishes him off, and there was no gain on the play.
He needs to get new cleats on. Kevin.
Another one.
He can't.
There's a flag, Rich. Late thrown on the field back at the 30-yard line.
After the play was over, taunting number 99, defense.
Jernigan.
15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. This is his first foul of that type with regard to disqualification.
Well, I mentioned the penalties. See the taunting right there. You can't do that. 92 penalties coming into today's game. It's 31st. Only the Oakland Raiders have more. The Oakland Raiders historically lead the league in penalties every year, but And speaking with John Harbaugh on Friday, he's not happy with the lack of discipline and those type of penalties against his defense.
So this puts him at the 47-yard line of Baltimore. Ajayi, big hole right into the defense in the teeth of that D. And he takes it tumbling ahead to the 34 and a 14-yard run. Right up the gut, following the blocking of his center, Anthony Steen, the first-year player out of Alabama. He was tackled in the secondary. 2 Flacco touchdown passes. The first quarter a close in Baltimore. What makes Monday TV's best night a comedy? Kevin can wait. And with a plan, 2 broke girls in the Big Bang Theory. That's tomorrow starting at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. With Rich Gannon, Chris Fisher on our sideline, Kevin Harlan. Beginning of the second quarter, 7th play of this second drive for the Miami Dolphins, who missed a field goal the first time from 46. Joe Flacco has thrown 2 touchdown passes for first place Baltimore. 1st and 10. With a run right here by Jarvis Landry. Landry's thrown for a loss of a yard. That's his 4th rush of the season. He's got 17 yards on the ground, running the ball back to the 34.
And during the commercial break, he made the switch. Kevin, you remember he was wearing black cleats to start the game. During the break, he switched out different cleats, so I'm guessing these are longer cleats. Grass certainly in the middle of the field hasn't taken, and it's very soft.
Second down 11. Ajayi is in, gets the call. Breaking tackles. He's the #1 running back, as we mentioned before, in broken tackles in the NFL. Most yards after the first hit. Jimmy Smith will wrestle him down, and he picks up 6 on the play, put him at about the 28-yard line of Baltimore.
It was a great looking run. Just the patience. You see the spin move right here. He's got excellent contact balance and leg drive. We see him drag defenders for extra yards. He is a hard tackle one-on-one.
Boy, he had a stretch, Rich, earlier this season. 3 consecutive 100-yard games, including 2 200-yard games back-to-back.
Only 3 other players have done that in the history of football, Kevin. I mean, you think about O.J. Simpson, guys like Earl Campbell. Ricky Williams, former Dolphin.
3rd down 5, Tannehill going deep. And it was broken up. Was it picked off by Webb, who plays the slot corner as they were going deep for Parker, and they say it was caught. What a pick by Webb, his first of the year.
Well, you got the one-on-one that you want, but you got to be able to hold the safety. Webb is a former corner that has great speed and closing ability at the safety position.
Every turnover is under review. It doesn't have to be challenged, and that's where we stand right now, as a long pass by Ryan Tannehill to the end zone was picked off by the safety Webb.
Yeah, and keep an eye on his left arm. As he goes to the ground, he's got his left arm underneath the football.
I agree with you, Rich.
I think they feel like he had control of it. Actually, not a bad throw by Ryan Tannehill. It's just a great play by Ladarius Webb.
You know, Webb has had some injuries, Rich, and they made the move for him from cornerback to safety this year.
And he still has great speed at that position. You think about Miami, Kevin, they've been so good in this part of the field. That's the first red zone turnover this year for the Dolphins.
On the field stands. An interception, 1st down Baltimore.
And Webb, who is a college safety at Nicholls State, comes up with his first pick of the season right there. And he turns it over, and so Baltimore will have it 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line.
You mentioned 1st and 10. Check out the 1st and 10 play selection. 10 passes, no runs. And why not? Flacco has been so effective on 1st and 10. 8 for 10 for 94 yards and a touchdown.
4-3 defense for Miami. With a block right there for West, and here comes Flacco on the move. That's picked off. Maxwell, who has played some terrific defensive back lately for Miami, and Flacco throws his first interception of the game, his second in the last 10 quarters for Baltimore.
At some point, sometimes the only thing to do is throw it away and live for another down. It's 1st and 10 as you get outside here. Check it out right here. You've got a defensive player in the front and one behind. This is a very difficult play. You look at the angles, very difficult to fit that in over the first corner to a guy like Mike Wallace. Wallace could help Flacco in that situation by coming back to the quarterback, working down the boundary.
Miami's pass defense is number 9. They're number 10. Miami is in interceptions, and they just showed it right there with Byron Maxwell getting his second interception of the season.
And Flacco just mentioned to Mike Wallace, you've got to help me. When I start scrambling, you've got to start working back to the quarterback at a friendly angle.
Tannehill threw an interception the last time he was out there with a 1st and 10 for the Baltimore 38 with pressure, and he finds a tight end. That's Dominique Jones, who grabs it right there. It's a gain of 7 on the play, and they'll put him right at the 30-yard line of Baltimore. Now, Tannehill has been effective with the ball. He began the season with some interception issues, but since then, much better, Rich.
Yeah, no, he's been terrific, Kevin. I mean, you look at the numbers through the 6-game winning streak. He's completing 68% of his throws, 9 touchdowns, and just the 1 interception before today.
With a 2nd down and 3, they blow that dead in mid-motion. Early in the second quarter.
False start, number 11, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's Devontae Parker, who is questionable coming in. Very little practice this week. Back injury last week, and he's been, as we mentioned before, one of the most effective receivers in part of the 6-game winning streak of the Miami Dolphins.
He has excellent speed and quickness for the position. I think the best thing he does is track the ball in flight and catch at the high point. He's a guy that can really help Tannehill down in the red zone.
Into the Baltimore nickel, 2nd down and 8 in the Giant. Following a block there by Bushrod, but then that evaporates. And he's shoved back, and Webb was among many in the avalanche of defensive players for the Ravens. Loss of 3. Let's go to James in New York.
Boy, the Patriots, you can't make a mistake against
All right,
them.
that's right. Jared Goff threw an interception. Good field position for the Patriots. Tom Brady throws his 19th touchdown of the season. 14-0 Patriots over the LA Rams.
Rich Gannon knows that all too well, Kevin.
Do you, Rich?
All too well. JP knows exactly what he's talking about.
I know. Jeff Fisher, the head coach of the Rams, just got a contract extension too in Los Angeles. 3rd and 12 here. Tannehill, Williams, Redwell, the rookie again. Tavon Young was right on him. Limits him to a gain of 2 on 3rd and 12. They get down to the 40, make it the 38-yard line.
Well, they're going to bring the pressure off the edge. You see Zachary Orr come, and then just a bit of a trap out there. Tavon Young, who has really played well, he's playing with more confidence, I would say, the last couple weeks.
Young shaken up, as you can see. He is making his 7th consecutive start. The 4th round rookie pick out of Temple.
You know, he was sitting at home yesterday, Kevin, watching his Temple Owls take on Navy down in Annapolis. Temple was a more physical team, certainly early on. But I really like Tavon Young. He's going to be a good one once he figures things out.
It's 4th down and a little more than 10, and the ball is at the 38-yard line of Baltimore.
You got to punt it and pin him back and play good defense. They play the field position battle here.
Well, they squander good beginning field position. They started at the Baltimore 38 after the Maxwell interception, and they couldn't get anything out of it, as Hester goes back to retrieve the punt from Matt Darr. This will conclude the 3rd possession for Miami. And fair caught at the 12 with a hang time of 3.8, but well placed, a 26-yarder by Darr. Joe Flacco back out there with 2 touchdown passes to start the game for first place Baltimore. We're back in Baltimore. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to breaking news and expert analysis of your favorite team. It has everything you need to stay close to the action. Download the CBS Sports app today. This is the 4th possession for the Baltimore Ravens. 2 touchdowns on the first 2, picked off by Maxwell, Miami last time. We're the 1st and 10 from the 12. Run right there, doesn't produce a whole lot. Ball carrier was Dixon, brought down on the play by Wake on a gain of a yard.
This Miami defense, we've been talking about the improvements that they have made. I think even the run defense is an area where Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, has really tried to make a point of emphasis, getting off of blocks.
2nd down 11. He tied in once again, and for a second time today, Nick Boyle, who was just activated in late November. Gain of 4. Let's go back to James in New York.
Boomer, what weather?
It is a winter wonderland in Green Bay, guys. Here comes Aaron Rodgers, going to break the pocket, roll to his right, find Randall Cobb in the back of the end zone. He's going to catch it to a snow angel for a celebration. That's what Kevin does on Monday Night Football when it snows. Green Bay takes the lead 7-0.
Kevin, by the way, I would never tease my guy Rich Gannon. Back to Kevin Harlan.
I know that. Thank you, Boomer, and thank you, James. What a catch, an acrobatic grab by Kamar Aiken. On 3rd and 5, he reels it in at the 35, an 18-yard catch by Kamar Aiken, who led the team in receptions a season ago.
Pretty good coverage by Bobby McCain, but just great concentration by Aiken. You love the bigger receiver on 3rd down in the middle of the field.
Aiken was the guy that replaced the injured Steve Smith a season ago, became the top receiver, 1st and 10, with a handoff here to Terrence West, 3 years out of Towson, and no gain on the play, and stacked up at the 35-yard line.
Well, Kevin, you and I were talking this week. I said this offense of Baltimore, they need to pick up the pace, because if it weren't for their defense, they certainly wouldn't be atop the division. They have been very inconsistent, and I think, the precision just hasn't been there with this offense. This is good to see, I think, if you're Marty Morningweg, the offensive coordinator, and John Harbaugh.
With a 2nd down and 10, Flacco goes outside, and he's got Perriman for the first time. Rashad Perriman, who had a touchdown reception last week against Cincinnati. He picks up 9. A flag was thrown. The gain is up to the Baltimore 43. We mentioned the fast-paced offense. They've had no huddle success, the Ravens have, for 3 straight games.
I think Flacco really likes it.
Hands to the face, number 89 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's on Steve Smith. They've been pushing the pace, Rich, this offense has. That quicker tempo, you're right. I think Flacco does like it.
And you could get a look at Steve Smith coming off the line of scrimmage. Watch this right hand.
Into Maxwell.
Right into Maxwell.
That's a pretty good matchup, isn't it?
I love Steve Smith. He's only 5'9". His size has never been, an issue. I mean, this guy is tough. He's durable. He can be nasty. He participates in the running game. Does a lot of the little things well. And he brings some toughness and some swagger to this Ravens offense.
Number 8 all-time in receiving yards in pro football history. 2nd down and 20, go back to the 25-yard line here, and again he finds a soft spot in the middle, and that's Wallace with the catch, and brought down by Michael Thomas. It is an 18-yard pickup. Flacco continues to throw the ball well up to the 42-yard line of Baltimore.
Do you think part of the game plan is to attack in the middle of the field? I mean, this is all the Ravens are doing. Every throw is in the middle of the field, whether it's the receivers, the tight ends. Miami is going to have to do something differently. They've got to be able to help these linebackers and these nickel and dime defenders in the slot.
Juszczyk is in. 3rd down and 4. With a block over there by Juszczyk. There's the aforementioned Steve Smith who we were just talking about. Tackled by Lippett, who has been solid outside for Miami. 7-yard pickup. And a Dolphin player down. The gain was to the 49-yard line, and a gain of 7. 1st down for Baltimore.
I think Lippett hurt himself trying to tackle Steve Smith.
Lippett was primarily a wide receiver at Michigan State, made the conversion to defensive back in his 2nd year. So he's down, jostling with Smith. A timeout taken, 7:53 in the 2nd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Duracell. The ones you trust are always there. Collateral Beauty from New Line Cinema, in theaters December 16th. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Lippett walked off under his own power. Let's watch it once again.
They're just trying to get him on the ground. It's so hard to tell what happens. Certainly we won't speculate, but good to see him get up and walk off.
Dixon in the backfield with the 1st and 10. Got by the tight end Pitta with an overthrown pass there by Flacco, who made the block initially, then released, and it's incomplete. Rich, the Baltimore Ravens have not scored a touchdown in the second quarter since week 2. Now they came out this afternoon on their first 2 possessions in scripted plays, and Flacco throws 2 touchdown passes. Looked incredibly sharp to start the game.
This gets back to the consistency, Kevin, with this offense.
2nd down 10, screen pass here. Dixon looking for blockers and finally brought down on the play by Mike Hull, who's out of Penn State. It is a gain of 4, and he's down to the 48-yard line of the Fins.
Well, they're excited about Dixon. He's a guy that we mentioned played at Louisiana Tech, 4-year starter, and holds a school record, 4,480 yards rushing, 72 touchdowns. The thing I like about him, he's a guy that can make you miss. Very shifty and elusive in the open field.
Hughes check in. 3rd down and 6. And across the middle, after the block by the left tackle Stanley, it is a catch by Wallace, a former Dolphin receiver. They pick up 4 on 3rd and 6. So 4th and 2. The ball's at the 43-yard line of the Miami Dolphins.
Well, that's where the Dolphins have been so good this year, Kevin. Their 3rd down defense, the best in the league. Opponents converting just 33%. But here we see the Ravens going for the 2nd time now here in the first half, going for it on 4th down.
Remember, Dixon had the 10-yard run earlier on 4th and 1. Timeout, Baltimore. Ravens are in first place, tied atop the North with Pittsburgh, coming off a 5-point win off of Cincinnati last week, finally appearing to be getting healthy. They welcome back Jimmy Smith in the secondary, 6-5 record for John Harbaugh. And Miami beating San Francisco last week 31-24, coming off a 4-0 November, 2nd place in the East in 2 games and back in New England. A game lead on Buffalo. They've won 6 consecutive games. It's the longest winning streak since 2005. They have not won 7 straight since 1985.
Yeah, Adam Gase has done a terrific job in his first season. We mentioned the slow start. They started 1-4. They had a brutal schedule to start out, and yet they find themselves. Actually, if the playoffs started today, this would be the number 3 versus the number 6 seed game, which is pretty amazing.
So after the timeout by Baltimore, Juszczyk remains. It's 4th and a long 2. Flacco outside, has Smith. He beats Bobby McCain, who is their nickel back, and the gain is down to the 35. An 8-yard pickup, another first down on 4th down for Baltimore.
Another gutsy call by John Harbaugh, but what did Vance Joseph tell us last night, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins? He said on 3rd down, we've got to find and stop number 89.
1st and 10. Terrence West. He tries to dig. Hull jumps on him at the end. Branch grabbed him on the wing. It's a gain of 4. They take it to the 31-yard line of Miami.
I like the fact that they're jumping the ball, Kevin. I like this up-tempo approach. It makes it very difficult on a team that's traveling. You look at Marty Morningweg, the offensive coordinator, and it makes it very difficult for a defense to make substitutions and also to dial up all those pressures.
2nd down and 6. Flacco is hit, broke free. Nice backpedaling catch there by Perriman. He was working on the linebacker, Paysinger, who's having a difficult time in pass coverage today, down to the 25-yard line. And very good, they give him the first down with a gain of 6 right there.
Well, you love the size and the speed. You love that for that position. A guy like Perriman missed all of his rookie year with the injury. That didn't help his development, but made a terrific catch in the back of the end zone last week against the Bengals.
Rich, you mentioned Marty Morningweg, the offensive coordinator, replacing offensive coordinator Mark Trestman 6 games ago for Baltimore.
Yeah, and that was tough. I think, talking with Marty, I think initially, Kevin, he wanted to scale some things back, take away some of the volume from this offense.
Chris Moore, end around on 1st and 10. And chasing him across the way was Hull. 7-yard end around gain to New York and James. And Boomer
Kevin, I asked your Monday night partner, what was the key play on this drive?
Well, JB, this one, it's 4th and goal right here. This is Spencer Ware's second touchdown of the day, a 3-yard TD reception from Alex Smith. Scores tied 13-13. Atlanta had to kick 2 field goals when they got into the red zone last.
Hey, Rich, that was a quarterback protecting a quarterback. Back to Kevin Harlan.
I like that Ware from LSU. He played in that Georgia Dome before for the Bayou Bengals. 2nd down and 3 with an incompletion. No one home. With the incompletion by Flacco. He's not thrown many of them today. That's just the 6th incomplete pass. He's 19-25.
He's doing a terrific job, Kevin, spreading the ball around. 9 different players for the Ravens have a reception. Tight ends, backs, receivers. He doesn't discriminate. He's just going to throw it to the open guy.
Doesn't seem like he audibles much, Rich, at the line, speaking of Flacco.
Well, especially not now when you look at how quickly they're playing. They're jumping the ball. He does have a package of plays, Kevin, that he can get to based on the front and the protection and obviously the coverage.
Here he's got a 3rd down and 3. Goes to his last option. That's Juszczyk out of the backfield. He was finally grabbed in the secondary by Michael Thomas. It's a gain of 7 on 3rd and 3. It's a first down for Baltimore. Again, buzzsawing their way through this Miami defense. Now at the Dolphin 12.
Well, Juszczyk is in here initially to protect, but then he just leaks out. And he's been a very good 3rd down back from a standpoint that he provides protection for Flacco. But he also has good enough hands to be able to sneak out into the flat and catch those checkdowns.
1st and 10, Flacco. He's hit 10 different receivers today. Gets Pitta for another time. That's a gain of 3 as he falls and hits the deck at about the 9-yard line of Miami on a drive that started back at the 13-yard line for Baltimore.
And aside from playing fast, Flacco's not holding the ball, Kevin. He's making quick decisions. He's getting it out very quickly, and that's very frustrating for players like Sue and Wake and these great pass rushers that they have in Miami. You can't get there. The ball's coming out way too quickly.
17th play of the drive. There goes a flag. Carl Cheffers.
Number 62, offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
That's the 2nd on Ducasse, the former Jet, who was re-signed in the middle of October. He has started the last 4 games, including today at right guard.
Well, we talked about the Cardinal rule down in the red zone.
Right.
No penalties, turnovers, or sacks.
How about the move by Jan to the left guard? Very unselfish play. He's got the bad shoulder. He's better suited probably at that left guard now. He's normally the right guard, where Ducasse is today. With a 2nd down and 12. Goes off to the running back, Wests. Looking for a block from Ducasse. And then he is hit by Paysinger and others with a catch and run of about 4.
Yeah, Kevin, you mentioned Marshall Yanda, the Pro Bowl right guard, playing the left guard. Now, he has played right tackle in the past, but this is his 3rd straight game, really dealing with the left shoulder injury. The challenge for him is really the technique and the footwork. It's very different. And also, you got to be able to flip everything over in your mind. It's not been an easy adjustment, and yet he's handled it with great poise.
3rd down and 8, Flacco. Blitz comes on. He's got Pitta. He's got another touchdown. 9-yard touchdown pass. The 3rd today, thrown by Baltimore quarterback Joe Flacco. And a lengthy drive.
Well, they're just giving him too much space. I mean, it's just a shallow cross. Initially, you got to ask yourself, who's covering the tight end? I mean, Rambo is late getting there. The linebacker or defensive end Andre Branch, who was dropping in zone coverage, he was late getting there. The communication right now is a problem for this Miami defense.
Tucker makes it 21-0 at 2:10 to play in the 2nd quarter. The Ravens score their first touchdown in the 2nd quarter since week 2. And for the 2nd time today, it's the tight end, Pitta from Flacco. On Monday, the Ravens hosted reward assemblies for the top performing schools from their Ravens Play 60 Challenge. Ravens players hosted 3 assemblies for students to discuss the importance of physical activity and participate in activities promoting the Play 60 message. Dennis Pitta has had 2 hip surgeries. He's broken hips. He's had dislocated hips. He's coming back. and he's the 4th leading tight end receiver in pro football. He's caught 2 touchdown passes today. Rich, the first 2 touchdowns he's had of the season, part of the 21-0 Baltimore lead.
Well, it's been all Baltimore, Kevin, here in the first half. You look at Flacco. It's been terrific. 23 of 29, 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. 23 first-half completions, the most in his career.
Grant is the one to get that, and there's a look at Dennis Pitta. Let's go downstairs to Chris Fisher.
Thanks, Kevin. Ravens quarterback Tavon Young, who came off the field on their last defensive series, they're calling it a left shoulder injury. He's questionable return. And for the Dolphins, their corner, Tony Lippett, has been taken back to the locker room for concussion protocol evaluation. Kevin?
Chris, thank you. Rich, it's almost week to week a battle of attrition health-wise, isn't it?
Especially this time of the year. Nobody's 100% for sure.
Dolphins in a pretty big hole right now. 1st and 10 for Tannehill. Deflected and off the fingertips of the tight end, Deion Sims. They have also been going for Jarvis Landry. They were both over there. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Well, I mentioned at the open, Kevin, the importance of not falling behind on the road. This has been a team that has gotten off to some slow starts historically this season, and they can't become one-dimensional. They're not built to throw the ball 45 or 50 times. They've got to be able to have the balance. If it gets into a situation where, and this is why this is a critical drive, if they can't get something going here, that just opens up opportunities for Suggs and Dumervil and all these great pass rushers to pin their ears back and go after Tannehill.
Nickel secondary again, 2nd and 10 for Tannehill. And he's got his crossing receiver right here with bad back and all, Devontae Parker. He is hit on the play and brought down by Sharice Wright. 18-yard pickup up to the 42. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report from New York, JB and crew for scores, news, and highlights. The Verizon Halftime next on CBS. The Dolphins down 21-0, trying to win on the road in December against a contending team. A first-place Baltimore team. Miami has won 6 straight. 2-minute warning, 1st and 10. And across the middle too high for Ajayi with the coverage on the play by Zach Orr. 2nd down and 10.
Well, Kevin, you and I were just talking during the break. I mean, you can't do anything about the first 28 minutes of this half, but they've got to be able to put together a drive here in the 2-minute drill and come away with some points and go into that locker room with a little bit of confidence. They haven't been able to do anything offensively here in the first half.
Against the number 2 defense in pro football, Baltimore. That's tough. 2nd and 10. I bobbled it. And he'll have to swallow it. And he's back to his own 34. It's a loss in the play of 8 for Tannehill on the offense of Miami.
Well, you change centers, and this one came back a little bit hot, but Ryan Tannehill still has to catch that. I'm not sure if he took his eyes off it. Looking at the pressure. You watched that game last week, the Ravens against Cincinnati. That would have gotten my attention, Kevin, if I was Ryan Tannehill. They brought so many 5 and 6 and 7 and even 8-man pressures against Andy Dalton.
You kind of surprised here Baltimore hasn't taken a timeout, Rich?
Well, this would be right after this down here. I mean, you're up 21-0, Kevin. I mean, you don't want to give Miami any opportunities here on 3rd down.
3rd and 18. As they go outside, it's Landry.
We went out of bounds. What a mistake.
Yep. 11-yard gain. Landry takes it up to the 45-yard line.
There's a player just not understanding the situation in the game, Kev. You're not going to get the first down. Stay on the field and force John Harbaugh and the Ravens to use one of those 2 remaining timeouts.
Jimmy Smith and Eric Weddle were the ones to knock him out of bounds. Make sure he was indeed out of bounds. So the clock is at 1:06. Baltimore's got 2 timeouts. The ever dangerous Devin Hester is back to retrieve the punt here from Matt Dawg. On a windless day, 46 degrees here in Baltimore. 2nd punt for Dawg. Hester waving it off. And out of bounds. Well placed, 16-yard line. And so that's what's in front of Joe Flacco. Couple timeouts on a 39-yard punt. We step aside.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K. And by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Joe Flacco with the 3 touchdown passes, and they've scored in 3 of their 4 possessions. This is a look at Miami.
It's really embarrassing. I mean, 255 yards of offense already in the first half, 227 through the air. They look a step slow, Kevin. They're not playing fast, and they're not defending the middle of the field.
Again, 2 timeouts for Flacco, 1st and 10 after the Miami punt. And this is rookie running back Kenneth Dixon swerving outside the 30. Nice run brought down by McCain and others. A run of 17. A timeout taken by the Ravens. They're at their 32.
Here's one of our best elves hard at work.
What's back there?
Nothing.
A touchdown. Come on.
Santa, the Davidsons are here to see our workshop.
Oh, well, hello. This is my sleigh. It's how I deliver all the presents by myself.
Santa, you got anything else going to Albany?
By myself.
Ship with FedEx Ground at FedEx Office. It's how the holidays arrive.
After a 17-yard run by Dixon and a timeout, here's a 1st and 10 Flacco with a spinning catch right there by the rookie running back. Dixon makes a grab, 15th catch of the year. And it's a gain of 3 on the play, and the tackle was made by Kiko Alonso. By the way, Baltimore, one of the best teams scoring inside 2 minutes. They've scored on 10 times in 11 games inside 2 minutes. 2nd down 7. Stanley the block at the left tackle. Pitta once again.
Well, they got to take a timeout here.
Bobby McCain brings him down the slot corner at the 44-yard line. Gain of 9. And that is a 1st down.
You know, that first timeout they took a couple plays ago, Kevin, was a good timeout. I can't tell you how many times you and I do a game on the weekends where teams don't use that timeout.
Right.
They try and get up the line of scrimmage and clock it, and it takes 15, 18, sometimes 20 seconds. There's other ways to stop the clock. You know, you can clock the ball on 1st down. You know, an incompletion stops the clock. A player getting out of bounds stops the clock. So, you know, you can't be afraid to use those timeouts in a 2-minute situation.
Tools you used, I know, as a quarterback for the Raiders. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and company. Scores, highlights, news around the NFL. We're in December. Important football. It's the Verizon halftime report. 1st and 10. Out of timeouts, Flacco. To the side, getting out of bounds, as Rich just talked about. That's Dixon. Out of play. He's close to the 50. Going to mark him at the 47-yard line. Knocked out by Tony Lippett. Good to have him back in there after he was knocked out earlier in the game. It is a gain of 3 for Baltimore.
And the other thing that Joe Flacco has is the best kicker in the NFL, Justin Tucker. I mean, he's made 27 field goals already this season. Kevin, he's a perfect 18 of 18 outside of 40. And he's 7 of 7 from 50 plus. And his last miss was almost a year ago. December 6th against none other than the Miami Dolphins.
2nd down and 7 for Joe Flacco. On the move and wide open in the middle once again. Wallace on his knees.
Plenty of time.
At the 37, 16-yard pickup, and again, no timeouts, Baltimore.
Plenty of time. They're just going to run it down now. See,
Look how
Flacco looked over to the sideline, did the right thing.
You saw it, Rich. You called it. And so now Tucker's going to go out there and try to tack on some more for the first place Ravens. Closing out what has been a demolition of Miami, a team which has won 6 straight coming into today.
What a good looking 2-minute drive, Kevin. I mean, that was great communication between the sidelines and the quarterback. The quarterback looked over, wanted to see if they wanted to clock it quickly or take some more of that time off the clock.
This is a 55-yarder with a negligible wind inside the stadium today for Justin Tucker. The hold by the punter Cook. And Morgan Cox, who was a Pro Bowl long snapper, will send it. A timeout was taken. Well, last week, Justin Tucker tied an NFL record with 3 field goals of 50 yards. Successful from 52, 57, and 54, all in the first half against the Bengals. The first player in NFL history with 3 50-yard field goals in a single half.
And that last one he kicked in the first half against Cincinnati last week, very similar situation. Marvin Lewis, the head coach of the Bengals, called a timeout, and Tucker kicked it anyway. A practice kick. We just saw him take one there. The veteran kickers take that practice kick when those coaches call that timeout late.
You've seen it before.
It works great. I mean, why not take a free shot at it?
Exactly.
It gives you a chance to see what the wind's going to do.
Good observation. 55-yarder here for Justin Tucker. And he nails it. He is automatic. The 6th time this season Justin Tucker kicks a field goal on the final play of the first half.
He is money.
Flacco 3 touchdown passes, then this 55-yarder from Tucker. To CBS after this, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Baltimore Ravens are shutting out the Miami Dolphins 24-0. Flacco with 3 touchdown passes in the first half. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. With NFL MVP Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, Chris Fisher on our sideline. We'll check with Chris in just a second. What are your first half thoughts on Flacco?
He's on fire, Kevin. I mean, he's had a lot of time. The ball's coming out quick. He's in rhythm. I mean, he's already thrown the ball 34 times in the first half, 27 completions, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, if I'm Flacco, I'm having that conversation with Marty Morningweg at the half. Let me keep throwing it. I mean, they can't stop him. You look at the touchdown to West, the way they're attacking in the middle of the field, especially with the tight ends, has been a big story here in the first half.
Flacco has hit 10 different receivers, and now, Rich, for adjustments. I'm sure most of this follows suit for Miami being shut out in the first half.
Yeah, you look at what's happened. This team didn't look ready to play early, Kevin. I mean, they can't. First of all, they can't get enough snaps offensively. Just 24 plays, and then defensively, they had no answer for Flacco in the passing game. I think if you're the Ravens, this isn't a time to start pumping the brakes. I think you continue to apply the pressure in the second half. Why back off? Joe Flacco is having one of his best games. We already mentioned, he had 23 first half completions. Or 27 first half completions. That's a record. And I think when you've got a hot hand, you got to keep going to them.
On the other hand, the Miami Dolphins got into Baltimore territory the first 3 drives and came out with no points.
Kevin, I mentioned, Miami had just 24 offensive snaps. They averaged less than 57 plays a game, which is the last in the league. And when you struggle there, you also struggle in time of possession. That's a problem right now. Tannehill and Adam Gase, they need more shots, more opportunities in the second half, and that's why this first possession is absolutely critical.
It's the Tucker kickoff after his 55-yard field goal to close out the first half for Baltimore. They leave it in the end zone with Kenyon Drake, who gets it to the 25, 1st and 10. Let's go back to the sideline. Here's Chris Fisher.
Thanks, Kevin. Adam Gase said that Joe Flacco's been effective in gashing their zone coverage protection. He says they need to make subtle changes to it with the defensive protections, and offensively, they've been able to get the ball past midfield, like Rich said, but they need to finish drives. As for the Ravens, John Harbaugh likes the pressure they're getting on Ryan Tannehill. They want to keep him bottled up in the pocket, not let him escape, and they need to keep their foot on the gas. Kevin?
We'll see what they do with the 1st and 10 here for Miami, beginning at the 25-yard line. Against the second-ranked defense of Baltimore. Tannehill with the 1st and 10. Ajayi running into his own blocker, the center Steen, and then thrown for a 1-yard loss on the play. Jernigan was there. Williams had a hand in it as well. Back to the 24.
When you look at the first half stats, they're kind of one-sided. I mean, you look at that, those first downs, the total yards, passing yards. It's interesting. You look at the rushing yards. I mean, it's been the play distribution. 41 offensive snaps for the Ravens, but 34 of them having passes.
On that 2nd down and 11.
Ball start. Number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Jermon Bushrod who picks that up. It'll be 2nd down and 16 as they march the ball back.
Well, it's not easy calling plays, Kevin, when you're down 24-0, but you just got to think about putting a good series together. And it starts with this first one, and penalties are a killer. You just don't want to get behind in the down and distance against this defense.
2nd down, 16, Ajayi. Got by Jernigan. And then it takes all those guys to bring him down as he swerves his way and goes to the 27, picks up 9 on that 2nd down run. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Don't want to get away from handing the football to Jai either, even though you're down 24-0.
Tannehill, 10 of 14. He was the #1 ranked quarterback by Pro Football Focus in his job last week against San Francisco.
3rd and long's not a good spot for Miami. They're 4 of 29 coming into today's game in this 3rd and 10+ situations.
3rd down, 7. Williams in the backfield, hit by Mosley. Downfield he goes. It's caught by Jarvis Landry. A flag has been thrown. He gets down to the 46-yard line of Baltimore on a 26-yard catch and run. Tackle was made by Lardarius Webb on the 26-yarder with Carl Cheffers.
Offside. Number 57 defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play. 1st down.
C.J. Mosley, who did have a hit on Tannehill as he threw.
And they are bringing the pressure off the edges. Mosley jumps the gun a little bit. And you watch the hit that Tannehill takes just as he's let go of the football.
Each quarterback has thrown an interception today. 1st and 10. Fake to Ajayi. They come with Suggs. Dumps it to Ajayi, and a nice open field tackle right there by Gerard Powers. No gain on the play. They remain at the 46.
That screen just took a while to develop, and because of the pass rush, Tannehill had to float that one over the rush to Ajayi, and that allowed Powers enough time to see it and react. This defense, Kevin, you watch, they tackle well, especially on the perimeter. You look at these corners. We saw a good tackle earlier from Young, and there's another one there from Powers.
2nd down, 10. Landry outside looking for a block, and there's Powers once again. Riding him down, gain of 5, put him at the 41.
Well, they've got to get, you got to be able to find a way to get the ball downfield a little bit. They haven't been able to do that. You look at Landry. He's your most productive guy. Look at those numbers. Most receptions in the first 3 seasons all time. That's a pretty good company there with guys like A.J. Green and Anquan Bolden and Odell Beckham Jr.
He's the tone setter. There's no doubt the team feeds off his effort and emotional personality. It's 3rd down and 5. Williams in the backfield. Tannehill down the middle. Nice catch. The tight end Sims again. Mosley there down to about the 18-yard line of Baltimore. And a gain right there of 22 for Deion Sims, who's coming off the best game of his career last week against San Francisco. He's got 2 for 37 this afternoon.
And now Miami jumping the ball a little bit here.
1st down. Ajayi in and the call. With a block, Albert and others. Finally ushered out of bounds by Jimmy Smith of Baltimore. They get inside the 10. They're down to the 5. A flag has been thrown. That was a gain of 14.
Holding. Number 67 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
On the rookie, Laramie Tunsil out of Ole Miss. That's the 3rd penalty on Miami today, all on the offense.
Now you look at Tunsil right in the middle of your screen there. He's in good position, but right there he just gets the grab, and you can see the reaction from Lawrence Guy.
He was inactive last week, Rich, with a left shoulder injury. He was planning to wear a harness today for support. He almost was taken, in fact, in the draft by Baltimore. They passed, and they took Stanley instead. 1st and 20. Timeout. Timeout. They got too deep in the cadence. So Miami is moving and being shut out in Baltimore. 10:24 in the 3rd. Opening 2nd half drive for the Dolphins, and they just called Rich a timeout.
Yeah, a lot of movement and stemming and shifting with this Baltimore defensive line, and it caused some confusion with Tannehill.
The Dolphins with 1st and 20 in Tannehill. His hit as he throws. That's deflected and picked off by Weddle. Here comes Eric Weddle. 3rd interception of the season. And he's got blockers ahead. And he is finally drilled by the wide receiver Jarvis Landry. What a return. 53 yards. Eric Weddle, the 3-time Pro Bowler. And Tannehill is picked off for the 2nd time today. The defense comes through for the Baltimore Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Amazon Prime. Get free 2-day shipping on millions of items. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Tannehill, 2 pickoffs, both in Baltimore territory. That's the first red zone turnover this season for Miami. The return by Weddle with a 45 and a 1st and 10 for Flacco. Outside, Smith with a beat on him is Kiko Alonso, who left the game momentarily, is back in, gain of 4.
Now keep an eye on the eyes of Ryan Tannehill. He's late getting back inside to the crossing route, and as a result, watch where he misses his throw. You cannot miss this behind. I mean, they don't get him any open. Landry is wide open. You got to put it on his front shoulder. Weddle dropped a gimme last week against Andy Dalton. Made up for it there.
Looked like linebacker C.J. Mosley may have tipped it just enough. 2nd down and 6. And they throw into traffic. Didn't look like Boyle was even expecting the pass, or Smith. They were both out there. 3rd and 6 on the incompletion.
You know, Boyle has really helped them, Kevin. He missed the first 10 games of the season, serving a suspension. He came back last week, and I think he made his presence felt, blocking in the running game as well as the passing game. Like another offensive tackle out there. This kid's 270 pounds, and he's very good at the point of attack. And without him, they didn't have a blocking tight end.
Watch for Pitta on this 3rd down. He's got a couple today. 3rd and 6. Flacco. And looking for Perriman. Wake was covering. 4th and 6. And Baltimore will send out their punting unit.
And when you're having a difficult time covering, I mean, you've got to go to extreme measures. You drop Cameron Wake, their best pass rusher, to cover the tight end.
They send Landry back. The punt will come for the first time today from Sam Cook. He was the one that took that safety in the game last week on the final play.
Shanked it.
He sure did. Last year's Pro Bowl punter shanks it out of bounds. We step aside. NFL players are champions on and off the field as they support their causes they care about in hopes of making a positive change in our world. This week, they will proudly display the charitable causes they champion on their game day cleats. Discover their personal tributes at NFL.com/mycausemycleats. Steve Smith's cleats right there. After the 16-yard Cook punt for Baltimore. Out of bounds at the 25. 1st and 10 for Tannehill.
See Weddle right down there at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're coming at him again, and it's a swirling catch right there made by Landry. No place to run or gets him. Bringing the tackle at about the 34 with a gain of 9.
Weddle gets down there, Kevin, around the line of scrimmage to discourage them from running the football. Then he bails out of there quickly. So Tannehill's trying to preview the front. Weddle's done a good job changing things up early on 1st and 2nd down.
How many reads do you think Tannehill makes on a drop back, Rich?
Well, I think a lot of times, Kevin, he locks in. I mean, he's had a difficult time working through progressions. You talk to the Ravens, they say take away his first read, and that really affects him.
Here's a 2nd one. 1st down, catch and run by Landry. Knocked out of bounds by Jimmy Smith. It's a gain of 6. Let's go down to the sideline and Chris Fisher.
Thanks, Kevin. Over 20 players in today's game are taking part in My Cleats, My Cause. And for players like Jay Ajayi, this platform gives them a chance to raise awareness for little-known causes like multiple endocrine neoplasia. That's affected his family dearly. And like today, most of the players in today's game, Ajayi plans to donate the money that he raised with his cleats after this game toward that cause. Kevin?
Chris, thank you. That was a 1st down catch and run, so just shy of the 41 Miami 1st and 10. Albert the block. Time for Tannehill. Ajayi outside. with a gain of 4. Open field tackle there by Jimmy Smith. Back today, their best cornerback. He missed the last couple games with a back injury.
Yeah, there's such a different team with a guy like Jimmy Smith out there, Kevin. He's, I think, their best cover corner. He's got the length that you love at that position, the long arms. Very good in press man-to-man coverage, and allows Dean Pease, their defensive coordinator, to do some different things in terms of their coverage scheme. Play a lot more man-to-man coverage, especially on third down.
Second down, 6. Tannehill again. Sims, the tight end, grabbed immediately by Tavon Young. Gain of 2, and they'll spot him at the 47. You know, Tannehill was talking this week about what Adam Gase has meant to his game. He talked about the footwork that he's picked up on the suggestions from Gase.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Adam Gase, Kevin, he's had a lot of success coaching quarterbacks. You look at obviously guys like Peyton Manning and Jay Cutler, and I think the first order of business for Gase was to get the quarterback playing at a high level, and he's certainly been able to do that, especially the last month and a half.
Nickel secondary, 3rd and 4. And they go outside here to Stills, and he's got the first down with a catch and run to the 44. Tackle made by Jimmy Smith. A pickup of 9 on 3rd and 4, and a first down for Miami.
I just think that the Dolphins have to be able to start taking some shots, Kevin. Stills is a guy that can line up in a variety of spots, and he's got great speed. I also like the fact that they're jumping the ball a little bit, changing pace.
Kenyon Drake is in. He gets the ball right here. He's a rookie out of Alabama, 3rd-round pick. And he was submarined by a couple on the play, including Zach Orr, and he picks up about a half yard, no more than that. I wonder when Gase, when he took over Miami, I wonder how much he had watched of Tannehill, how much he knew of Tannehill.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. You know, well, I got a chance to visit with him earlier, Kevin. He said he waited to see him practice in the spring and get to know him first before he went back to watch last year's film. No, he actually waited until the summertime. He wanted to have an open mind and really a clean slate. Didn't want to go in there influenced by what others had said or what he'd seen on film. So he really wanted to watch him practice and throw the ball first in the OTAs and mini camps.
Well, whatever he's done, he's having a career year. 2nd and 9 here. There's no place to run or hide. Judon makes the stop. The rookie out of Grand Valley State. It's a sack, and for him, his 4th of the year. And they throw him back for a loss of 9, back to the 48.
Well, you can't take a sack on a boot or a naked. If it's not there, throw the ball away. I mean, this is just a mental error by the quarterback.
That's the first sack allowed by this offensive line of Miami.
That's simple, Kevin. He rolled to his right. He had a tight end in the flat. Just throw the ball away if it's not there. You can't put Adam Gase in these situations. 3rd and forever against the Ravens.
Yeah, 3rd and 18 to be exact, Rich. They got to get down to the 34. Blocked by Williams on Orr. Going deep down the sideline and incomplete. With Smith, stride for stride with Carew. Leonte Carew, who's a rookie out of Rutgers. It's 4th down. And here comes the punting unit for Miami.
Too many mistakes right now, Kevin, at the quarterback position. You know, he's already thrown a couple interceptions, but the decision-making right now for Ryan Tannehill would have me concerned if I'm Adam Gase.
Esther is back inside the 20. The wind is picking up just a hair. If any way, it's going at the back of the Dolphins here on the punt by Matt Dog. Esther, I think he's going to return it. He will from the 13, and then doused right there. No place to run. Flag thrown. Lafayette Pitts makes the stop, number 40, on a 41-yard punt. How much hang time? 4:16. And let's see what the flag is about at the 4:54 mark of the 3rd quarter. Flacco has thrown 3 first-half touchdown passes. And they got a 55-yard Tucker field goal.
Turn the return. Illegal block in the back. Return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down. Timeout.
The Baltimore Ravens shutting out Miami on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by American Express Open, proud supporter of growing businesses, and by Verizon. It's always a great gift on Verizon.
Miami has had it twice here in the second half. An interception by Weddle. They just punted. And it's taken now with a 1st and 10 for Flacco at his own 6. That's Pitta once again. Tight end has been a big part of this offense. No surprise there. There's a gain of 3. And the tackle made by Abdul Quddus. Tonight, what does the Speaker of the House think he and President-elect Donald Trump will be able to get done for America? Find out from Paul Ryan, only on 60 Minutes. Tonight, talks with our Scott Kelly. 2nd down and 8. What pace with this offense. It has been terrific. And on the screws, in stride, Pitta. Stiff arms his way into the defense of Abdul Quddus. Kiko Alonso there, ushering him out of bounds, but not after he gets a 24-yard catch and run up to the 32.
Kevin, I mentioned Alonso, a little bit of a liability in coverage. This is not a strength of his. And what's so surprising to me is that they didn't have a better plan coming in for how to address and slow down Dennis Pitta. He's been their leading receiver, and he's got 8 catches already for 82 yards and a couple touchdowns.
West on 1st and 10. Got by 1 and then bounces into the grasp of Paysinger, who drags him down at the 38. It's a gain of 6. Pitta has been terrific with 2 touchdown catches today.
I think your job as a defensive coordinator is to have a plan. Take away what the Ravens do best, and that's throw the ball inside the tight ends. And they have not had a plan. They've not made the necessary adjustments even here in the second half.
2nd down and 4. West once again running out of bounds. Alonso chasing him. Pitta comes in as the top receiver for the Baltimore Ravens with 52 catches coming in, but no touchdowns until today. That was a gain of 6 right there.
Well, he's a very good route runner. He's got dependable hands, and I think he knows how to use his body to create separation from linebackers and safeties. I think that's what he does best.
Bird! Yeah. Bird! Hey, check, 3 jet!
3 jet, this is going to be a pass.
With a 1st and 10. Look out on the edge. He does, moving up niftily, and he gets it outside. Wallace is there with Maxwell around his waist. And no gain on the play. They get to the 50-yard line. Rich, let me ask you a question about the offensive line of Baltimore. They have been playing well the last couple of weeks, and Flacco to this afternoon has had time to throw.
Yeah, Kevin, they've had a lot of changes up front there. You know, you look at Yonda going over from the right side to the left side. Stanley, the rookie, he's been banged up. And Lewis, again, he's out today, but a nice job handling it.
Like I said, no gain on the previous play. It was a gain of 5, and here's a 2nd down and 5, and they're going for the receiver, Chris Moore, who is covered by McCain, and they call it incompleted. They give him the catch. They gave him the catch and a gain of 2, and he's just inside the 48-yard line of Miami.
And if you listen closely enough, you'll hear Joe Flacco say 2 jet, or 3 jet. And what that does is it's a line call to alert Jeremy Zuttah, the center, to slide the line either to his right or to his left. 2 and 3 jet are protections in the West Coast system.
They changed the call during our replay right there, and they said no catch. It's a 3rd and 5. Juszczyk in the backfield, and there's a ball right through the hands, although thrown in back of rookie receiver Chris Moore.
And that's a tough catch, Kevin. You're going from right to left, that little angle route. You've got all the momentum, and then that's one place you can't miss as a quarterback, and Flacco knows it. He has been so accurate today throwing the football.
But one thing he did in the first half, and this offense did, Rich, is they finished drives. That has been a significant issue. They had not been finishing drives before with the quick punt right here.
Well, they've been relying on their kicker, Justin Tucker.
Fair caught inside the 10. As it was grabbed right there after the 43-yard punt by Jakeem Grant. 2:42 in the 3rd. Bridges following up on the offensive line of Baltimore as we go to a Miami possession here. Flacco has not been touched. No sacks. He's gone back to pass 42 times.
Protection's been outstanding, Kevin. You got to give a lot of credit, especially to the tackles. Ronnie Stanley, Ricky Wagner, they've played really well on the edges.
After the Baltimore punt, 1st and 10. Landry outside. He gets a block from Sims. Works his way up the sideline and knocked out of bounds by Gerard Powers. He's up near the 14, gain of 7. Week 13 continues later today on Fox. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN and Westwood One Radio. Boomer Esiason and I will be in the Meadowlands for the Colts and Jets on Westwood One. 2nd down and 3. Ajayi. Mosley can't bring him down, or does in the secondary. He's got the first down run. It's a gain of 10, and they'll put him just shy of the 25 at the 24 of Miami.
You know, Suggs has done his homework this week, Kevin. I've seen a number of times pre-snap where he's been screaming to the defensive line to shift over. I think when he sees Ajayi offset in the gun, he's been calling out the runs.
Good observation. First and 10. Albert with the block at the left tackle. It's thrown in back of the receiver. That's Kenny Stills.
Let's go back and look at the last play. You just watch pre-snap. Look at Suggs. He's trying to alert his line mates, Jernigan and Williams. Slide over. Slide over. Here comes the run. It's coming our way. Just keep coming.
That's a 14-year vet doing his work before the game.
That's film study, Kevin. It's amazing. This guy still puts in the effort and the time to watch and prepare. He studies formations. He studies personnel groupings. He studies the offset of the backs. Very smart player.
He had a couple sacks and a couple forced fumbles last week against Cincinnati. Second down and 10. Ajayi with a gain of 2, and there you see the late flag thrown as he works it just past the 25 and hit by Jernigan. And again, Suggs playing with that torn biceps he got in week 6.
Personal foul, face mask, number 67 offense, half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
That's Tunsil, who you know was probably thought of as the #1 offensive lineman coming out. Baltimore had a chance, they had a need, but they passed on him, and they went with Stanley instead.
We saw that video. That was what did it. Tunsil, the guy that Kevin, he's got some versatility. He can play the tackle position. He started games this year for the Dolphins at left tackle. I think eventually he'll be the left tackle when Brandon Albert retires, but in the meantime, he's getting some great experience inside between 2 Pro Bowlers and Brandon Albert and Mike Pouncey when he's in the lineup.
Tunsil's actually started a couple games at left tackle this year. Here's a quick throw, and it's caught by Parker with an entourage. Mosley jumping on him on that second down and 22. He picks up 9. Richie's up to the 21-yard line of Miami.
You're seeing a lot of these quick perimeter screens and quick throws, Kevin. At some point, though, I really believe Ryan Tannehill has to throw the ball downfield. I mean, you're giving these Raven cornerbacks a free pass. You've got these receivers and Jarvis Landry and Devontae Parker that have size and speed outside the numbers, and yet you're not throwing the ball down the field.
It's 3rd and 13 against the #2 defense in third down defense in Baltimore. Miami on third down this afternoon, 4 of 9. They need the 34. Sims a block. Suggs lost his hat. Flag is thrown. Ball is incomplete. Suggs lost his helmet as he took it in. The former Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL back in 2011.
Holding, number 70 offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Right tackle Jawan James.
Watch what Dumerville does to him, Kevin. He's going to get right into him. He's going to get right into his midsection. He's going to lower it. You talk about the importance of leverage. Watch him lower and just push the tackle back into the lap of Terrell Suggs. I mean, this is what you want. I mean, you've got 2 great pass rushers in Elvis Dumerville and Suggs. Getting Suggs back last week was a big boost for this defense.
Bad resume for Miami today. 7 possessions, 4 punts, 2 interceptions, 1 missed field goal. This is a punt by Dar. And this is Hester at the 30 with a hang time of 4.7. Flag thrown. And he takes the ball out near the 45-yard line of the Baltimore Ravens on a 14-yard return and a 49-yard punt by Matt Dar.
That's coming back. They may have gotten Judon with a clip or a hold.
Quest enough, it made the stop.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 91 return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down. Timeout.
Matthew Judon, who has a sack today. A look at Terrell Suggs. He's been a wild dog for these Ravens today. 7-4 Miami Dolphins hold the final AFC wildcard spot as we enter December. Hold a tiebreaker over 7-4 Denver. Better conference record controls their fate. 7-4 they are. Baltimore 6-5, tied for first in the North. They beat Cincinnati last week, and they have a 4-0 division record, Rich, and they've already beaten Pittsburgh. First and 10 after the Miami punt. Flacco, 43rd pass today. It's caught by the receiver Mike Wallace, and he picks up 5 near the 26. And that concludes the third quarter on CBS. The Ravens scored on 4 of their 5 first-half possessions. 2 touchdown passes to begin it, to West and 1 to Pitta. And then Flacco was picked off, and then Pitta got another touchdown pass with a 55-yard field goal. All the scoring in the first half. We go to the fourth with a shutout being pitched by this Baltimore team, 24-zip over Miami. Second down and 4. West in the backfield. Stanley with the block at the left tackle and a crossing pattern with Pitta. Again, they're getting him in the middle. His knee may have been down. The ball is loose, as you see, and it's being picked up right here by Thomas, who takes it inside the 10. Brought down by Yanda. There was no whistle, and Miami gets the ball on a 25-yard return and a fumble by the tight end, Dennis Pitta.
It's really tough to tell whether or not he was down. He's just running the crossing route. And maybe that's tough right there. It's a good job poking the ball out. You see
Abdul Kudus, I think, Rich.
Well, Maxwell comes in and punches it out with that hand.
Yes.
Their ball first down at this spot.
This would be the second turnover by Baltimore today if it stands. And you don't have to challenge because every turnover is reviewed.
It was tough to tell whether his knee was down or not. Yeah, I think you got to challenge that one. Don't you think, Kevin?
Well, every turnover is looked at already.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not challenging. I mean, something
right.
to look at. Look at his right knee. Now, well, it's almost a bang-bang play. As his right knee is going down, that ball is being punched out by Byron Maxwell. I'm sure they're taking a look at it, obviously, and it was so close. Whether or not his shin or his knee was down.
Pitta has had a terrific day with 9 catches and 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Maxwell, a very clever player in that secondary, knocking it away.
And when you can't...
It's been confirmed it is a fumble.
Bang-bang play. Harbaugh looking for some clarification. A big opportunity here for Miami now. Kevin, they've been struggling all day. Great opportunity here. They got to come away with 7.
First and goal, Rich, at the 8. The fake to Ajayi, to the end zone. Touchdown, grabbed, the ailing Devontae Parker. 8-yard touchdown pass, quick strike. They cash in on the fumble, forced by Maxwell.
Boy, what a big turnover there. Even going back to his days at Texas A&M, Tannehill has always been comfortable throwing the ball on the move outside the pocket. This is a great throw, great touch throw in the back corner of the end zone.
As they work on Powers. They're going to go for 2. Early in the fourth and plenty of time. Kenyon Drake is at the side of Tannehill. The 2-point try. Landry is there. Got it, but pushed out. They had Young and Mosley that may have kept him from hitting the goal line. Nice defense. This is the touchdown pass with Devontae Parker. Beautifully thrown. 8-yard strike. So, Rich, some good fortune there for Miami. They caused the fumble. They get a quick touchdown pass, lose very little time on the clock, and they've made it a 24-6 game.
Yeah, they're able to take advantage of the turnover in the short field. And now they need the defense to go out and get another stop, Kevin, and get the ball back quickly.
The subsequent kickoff by the Miami Dolphins. He'll leave it in the end zone. Devin Hester. Well, Saturday, college football on CBS is proud to bring you the game that marches to its own beat. It's got everything you'd want. A lot of tradition. Army-Navy. It starts with special bonus coverage at noon Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Followed by college football today on CBS Sports. The final college football game announced by Vern Lundquist, and it will take place in this terrific stadium in downtown Baltimore.
Army was looking at that game yesterday between Navy and Temple with great interest. Navy starting quarterback went out with an injury, so short week to heal up and prepare for the Army Cadets.
With the 1st and 10, they dump it off here to the running back Dixon, who is brought down from behind by Hewitt on a catch and run of 11. Rich, last week with a sizable 16-3 lead over Cincinnati, the Raven offense became a little conservative in the second half against the Bengals. Only 3 points and 101 yards. Do they take a different tact even though they've got a sizable lead here?
Well, Kevin, I wasn't really satisfied with what I saw from them last week. They let a bad team hang around for 4 quarters, and Cincinnati actually had a chance to win that one at the end. I think if you're the Ravens, you better shift gears here a little bit. You've got to lead, and you're throwing the ball a bunch. You've got to start relying on the running game a little bit.
West on 1st and 10, and Isa Abdul-Qaddus makes the stop, the former Lion. It's a gain of a yard. He's up to the 36-yard line.
The Ravens have had 54 offensive snaps. They've thrown the ball 45 times. I think it's time to take the air out of the ball a little bit and lean on these running backs. You've got 2 very capable backs in Terrence West and Kenneth Dixon. They've got some fresh legs, Kevin. They didn't hardly touch the ball in the first half. Let these guys start pounding away, chipping away at that Miami front 7.
Couple tight ends on 2nd down and 9. Look at the time for Flacco. It's been like that most of the day. West is outside. He slips by Lippett. He got by Kiko Alonso. Then he was trailed in the play by Neville Hewitt. Undrafted out of Marshall. It's a gain of 10 on 2nd and 9. He'll push the ball out to the 47-yard line of Baltimore and a 1st down.
And play action. This is something that Joe Flacco has always liked. But look at this pocket. Look at how clean it is for Flacco. He's had plenty of time back there to work through his progressions, look downfield, and when it's not been there, to find those backs underneath.
1st and 10. And with the rookie left tackle on the move. Look at this run right here. Perriman. He'll take it all the way. That is what Baltimore does, and the answer to the Miami touchdown. A 53-yard catch and run by Brashad Perriman. What a play. His 2nd consecutive week with a touchdown reception.
Well, you don't get them this wide open. I mean, this is amazing. Plenty of time. You're going to see at the top of your screen, they're just running a little drive route, but watch how wide open he is because Miami gets tangled up. The corner and coverage. Look at this opening right here.
Perriman with the run. His dad, Brett, was part of that 97 Dolphin team, you may recall. Here's the extra point by Justin Tucker. And again, perfect with a 31-6 lead for Baltimore. Flacco with that completion of 53 yards has a career-high 36 with 381 yards. And the speed merchant Perriman takes it to the house for the Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by Walmart. Find gifts, groceries, and more this season.
Festive Baltimore, that's in the Inner Harbor. City is all dressed up and ready for the holidays. A look at the 53-yard touchdown pass thrown by Joe Flacco. 4th touchdown pass today. He had 2 right off the bat, 3 in the first half. Perriman showing that extra gear. Here's the kickoff by Tucker. It is out of the end zone. Touchback to the 25 for Miami. And some conversation after the play. Well, this is the remaining schedule. They say Baltimore's is the most difficult in pro football from this point on.
Yeah, I would think, Kevin. I mean, look, the last 4 games of the schedule are brutal for the Ravens. 3 of the last 4 on the road against New England, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I really think this one could come down to week 17. And look at Pittsburgh has Cleveland at home, whereas Baltimore has to go to Cincinnati. And even though Cincinnati's not a good team, they'd like nothing more than to beat the Ravens and knock them out of the postseason in week 17.
Ajayi on 1st and 10. Nice tackle made by Brett Urban. Wrapped him up. No gain on the play. They stay at the 25.
Well, I mentioned, Kevin, if there's a weakness for this Miami offense, it's the struggles that they have in the passing game. Clearly last week they had without 3 starters up front, but a little surprised that they have not been able to at least take some shots down the field. They've got the receivers who are capable of winning against man-to-man coverage.
Ravens in the secondary, 2nd down and 10. They go underneath. Ajayi getting a block from Landry and then torn down on the play by Zach Orr. From behind, the leading tackler for the Ravens makes the stop. Gain of 13, 1st down, 38-yard line. And here is the Dolphin resume today.
Yeah, not a good-looking report card. You've got interceptions. You've got 3 and outs in there. It's just not been a good day for this offense.
Tannehill 1st and 10. That wobble's incomplete. The coverage by Smith. There goes a flag on a pass intended for Kenny Stills.
Pass interference, number 22 defense, automatic, 1st down.
I don't know if there's any reason for it because Jimmy Smith actually had help over the top from his safety, Eric Weddle. And tough to tell, but clearly the official saw a grab of some sorts from Jimmy Smith covering Kenny Stills.
Miami, an offense that thrives on a balanced attack. It's been anything but that today. 32 passes and 15 runs. Of course, they've been behind. They had no choice. Baltimore, very unbalanced. 47 passes and 10 runs. It's a 1st and 10. Ajayi tries to block Powers. And then you see the defense coming on with Brett Urban making another defensive play. Urban throws him back to the 48. It's the 2nd sack by the Baltimore D this afternoon.
Well, we talked about 5- and 6-man pressures. You see both the linebackers. They draw the block inside. You lose Ajayi. He has to come over and cross key and pick up the corner off the edge. And that creates a lot of one-on-one matchups inside for the Ravens.
Second down, 12. Ajayi outside. Read beautifully by Zachary Orr. Gain of about 1 on the play to James in New York.
Boom, you got it.
All right, things are heating up down in the Dome in Atlanta. This is Devontae Freeman. He's going to go in for a touchdown. They fell on the 2-point attempt. Chiefs lead the Falcons 27-22 early in the 4th quarter.
Kevin and Rich.
Kansas City with another difficult game coming off that big win in Denver in overtime last Sunday night. Matt Ryan and MVP talk.
Taunting, number 23 offense. 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Can't do that, Rich, especially when you're behind and looking for every yard being so precious against this good defense.
It's just clearly some frustration on the part of Jay Ajayi. And a talking going on between himself and the linebacker, Zach Orr.
Now they march it all the way back to the 33. Adam Gase's offense has a 3rd and 26. They need the Baltimore 40.
False start, number 67 offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The rookie called again, Tunsil.
It's the 5th time today, Kevin. They've been in a 3rd and 10 or longer situation. And I mean, I'm very curious to see. You look down on that call sheet of Adam Gase. Sure, he doesn't have a lot of plays for 3rd and 32. You got to think screen or draw. But you're behind 31-6. What you don't want to do is have your quarterback, Tannehill, standing back there holding the ball and getting hurt. This ball still has to come out quick.
7 penalties, 6 on the offense, 3rd and 32.
Screen or draw. There it is.
And this goes to Damian Williams, who is hit by McClellan and Mosley and Orr. And they only give him a gain of a yard to the 29. And the punting unit takes the field.
Well, this defense, you wonder why the Ravens are so difficult to run the ball against. You look at their front. They play with their pads square. They don't get pushed sideways. And so as a result, they don't allow many vertical seams for backs to run through. That's why they're the #1 run defense in football.
And they got smart players like we just saw Suggs.
And they play with great energy and passion, and they all fly to the football.
High long snap to Matt Darr. with a punt here to Hester. And it takes a good Baltimore bounce back to the 45.
High snap created a poor punt.
The defense is number 2 in the NFL. And flexing their muscles and showing the emotion of everything that they are ranked. Look at the Raven D Tuesday. If you think Dr. Jason Bull is trouble, wait until you meet his ex-wife, Michael Weatherly, stars in TV's #1 news show. Bull, new episode Tuesday. After NCIS, only CBS. New quarterback is Ryan Mallett with a 1st and 10 throw, which is low, but hauled in by Smith. Right in front of Lippett, picks up 5. He's at midfield.
Yeah, you see Mallett come out throwing the football, Kevin. The only thing I can think is that, Marty Morningwig and head coach John Harbaugh got together and said, hey, look, this is a big group when you look at Sue and some of the bodies that they have on defense. And the best way to attack this Miami defense is by throwing the ball quickly in the middle of the field. And that's really what Joe Flacco did repeatedly through the first 3.5 quarters.
And that offensive line of Baltimore was brilliant. 2nd down 5. West will look to run, and then brought down in the play by Spencer Pasinger. It's a gain of 2, and he's down to the 48-yard line. Flacco today, 47 attempts, 36 completions, 381 yards.
And Kevin, the majority of them came in the middle of the field. I mean, to Smith, to Waller, to Pitta. The tight ends had a field day against these linebackers and safeties. And Flacco told us on Friday this is a team that plays with wide ends. The linebackers play downhill, and he really felt like there'd be some opportunities to attack and work in the middle of the field.
And you saw that on your tape study, didn't you?
Absolutely. I said linebackers for this team are a bit of a liability in coverage.
3rd and 3. Thrown in back of Steve Smith. It's incomplete. Flacco was not sacked while he was in there. Hit 10 different receivers on a 4-touchdown, 1 interception afternoon.
What I thought was interesting, Kevin, and I mentioned it to you last night. When we sat down with Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, at their team hotel last night, he said, I asked him, what were the 2 keys? He said, keep the lid on Wallace and Perryman with regards to the deep ball. Flacco throws it so well, and also to contain Steve Smith on 3rd down. He never mentioned stopping the run. He almost knew that they weren't even going to do this. Is an offense that's not committed to running the football. And they just went after him today with the short and intermediate throws.
Sam Cook to Jarvis Landry. Fair caught 13-yard line. 4-8 hang time. They were down there to cover, and Landry read it. 34-yard punt. Step aside, and 8:24 in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by K Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K. And by Subway. Try the classic Reuben, stacked with corned beef. Limited time only.
It's 45 degrees here in Baltimore, although some people think it's Miami weather. A punt by the Ravens. Tannehill takes over 1st and 10 at his 14. And Drake in the backfield. That's where they're going to go underneath here. And he's forced out of bounds by Orr. He's shy of the 20 at about the 18. He picks up 4. If there's one thing we picked up from Miami in the week of preparation, Rich, is that the team resoundingly talks about what he has done, changing the culture, no nonsense, accountability are all at the forefront of how he takes over this job.
I think they got the right guy, Kevin. After the 7th consecutive non-winning season, they made another coaching change. And you're right, he's come in, he's quickly changed the culture and the environment in the building.
Underneath here, this goes to Landry, and a nice move gets him past the 30-yard line. He was tripped up on the play by Sharice Wright, and he picks up 12, and that is a 1st down, and he's up to the 32-yard line. To show the accountability thing, he did make a move this week that didn't probably surprise too many, but showed how swift he can be, releasing Leon Orr Wednesday after he was arrested, Orr, on drug charges the day before. He's left players home on trips. Team overall appreciates it. 1st and 10. Tannehill just about had that knocked away and picked off by Weddle. He did knock it away, and it was intended for Stills, incomplete.
Well, I think Gase has brought some structure and discipline and toughness to this team. He's all about doing the little things right during the week. Being on time, knowing your assignments, practicing with a sense of purpose, and having great passion and energy for the game. And you're right, Kevin, he's got very little tolerance for players who don't do the simple things right. Show up on time, know what you're supposed to do, and and be a pro. I think that's what it's all about.
They were 5-11 a season ago. Miami. Second down 10.
He's missing some throws.
Yep. Some of the swagger and confidence looks to be gone. That's incomplete. One thing, though, the Case has had, he's had some pretty good mentors along the way in his coaching journey.
When Tannehill misses throws, it's usually footwork related. And Adam Gase is constantly telling him to not be lazy with his feet, keep his feet moving. They're trying to make sure that he's in rhythm. And at times when he misses throws, he's back there, he's a bit flat-footed, if you study Ryan Tannehill.
Third down and 10.
Well, it just seems like every time they get in third down, it's these long situations against the Ravens.
They need the 41. And that's where they go, and that's picked off. And Gerard Powers makes his second interception of the season. And another interception for quarterback Ryan Tannehill. Third today. Webb got him in the first half. And Weddle and now Powers have made the interceptions in the second for Baltimore.
I can't imagine what he saw there, Kevin. I mean, clearly there's two defenders in the area, and Powers is the flat defender, and Young is over the top.
I'll correct something I just said. They were 5-11 last year. They were 6-10 a season ago. Adam Gase was named the new head coach. 38 years of age. Here's a 1st and 10 handoff. And running hard is Dixon. Brought down by Hewitt from behind after a 17-yard run to the 24-yard line of Miami.
Well, if they could ever get the running game going, this would be a good-looking offense. They're just 28th in rushing. They're averaging just 87 yards a game. When they don't run it well, that play-action game clearly is not as effective. And that's really where Flacco is at his best and probably most comfortable. But yet they've spent so much time in the gun. Throwing the football in this one.
Mallett with the 1st and 10 at the 24. He began in New England, went to Houston. Here's a throw down the middle and almost reeled in with the backpedaling attempts was Darren Waller, who caught one earlier in the game. He was activated to the 53-man roster back in early October.
Well, Sue is the one that makes this happen. I mean, he gets the push up inside. Mallett's not able to set his feet, or he would have made a more accurate throw. But
well, there's a name we haven't heard much today, and Ndamukong Suh on that line for Miami.
He does a lot of the dirty work inside, and I mean that in a respectful way, Kevin. He's constantly getting double teamed. He's an explosive player with those strong hands and that lower body to really control offensive lineman.
Look at Dixon run on 2nd down and 10 and take it down to the 10 and brought down by Isa Abdul-Qadir. A 15-yard run after a 17-yard run moments ago, and it's a 1st down for Baltimore.
I mentioned earlier that both of these backs are fresh. They haven't gotten a lot of touches. Just 9 carries today for West, 3 for Dixon.
It's goal to go. By the way, just finishing up on Suh. 1 tackle today, but you're right. He commands a lot of attention on that line.
He's usually double teamed or chipped with a back or tight end. Very hard to block one-on-one.
1st and goal at the 9. Dixon to the end zone. 9-yard touchdown run. Baltimore.
Well, this is going to be a long flight home and an even longer film session tomorrow. You just look at the blocks that they get on the edge, and the back is just clearly able to take it and bounce it to the corner. This is poor effort, poor angles, and a poor finish by the Dolphins defensively. Kevin, this is not a
West. Yeah, Terrence West is the one who take it down. I think I said Dixon. It was West who brings it in, Rich.
This is not a film they're going to want to sit in and watch tomorrow down there in Miami. This has been ugly, really, on both sides of the football.
West had the run for 15 and the touchdown of 9 on a 4-play, 41-yard drive after the interception by Powers of quarterback Ryan Tannehill. With 5:55 to play in the 4th quarter, and the sizable lead for the Baltimore Ravens 38-6.
Holding defense number 78. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
West, by the way, has 50 yards on the ground. Dixon has 44 yards on the ground. West, the touchdown run of 9.
You know,
we'd like to thank all the folks here who have made this possible for us in Baltimore this weekend. They've been terrific, but they've also asked us to send our thoughts. And the former Raven tight end Conrad Royland, who underwent surgery this week after suffering a brain aneurysm. He was a member of this 2015 Ravens organization. And their thoughts and prayers they asked us to convey to him and his family watching this afternoon. So the Ravens, as they go on for this win, Rich, will go to 7-5. They'll have won their 4th game in the last 5. And the Miami Dolphins, who came in on the AFC Best 6-game winning streak, the longest since 2005, will drop to 7-5. And with a lot of work, both these teams actually with a lot of work to go. That's off the goalposts. Ricochets, a touchback to the 25-yard line with a 1st and 10.
You know, I think sometimes, Kevin, the hardest thing to handle in this business is a little bit of success. They've won 6 in a row, the Dolphins, and this is a humbling experience today. And, you know, sometimes you think you're better than you are. You know, when you win 6 straight games after starting 1-4, and you go on the road against a good Baltimore team, but you know, they have to go back home now and reevaluate and clean some things up. But, you know, they just didn't come out and get off to a good start. And that's been a problem for them. I talked about that first quarter point differential, which is the worst in football this season. They've got to get off the better starts, especially on the road.
Tannehill remains in the game, leading 38-6. And they go outside here for Jarvis Landry with a 1-yard gain. And Sharice Wright was the one to capture him at the 26.
You know, we were having this conversation about whether you leave Flacco in the game or Tannehill in the game. You know, normally, you know, back in the day, you get your quarterback out of there. You don't want to get him hurt. But, you know, anymore, Kevin, these coaches, they leave him in the game. I mean, I think it started with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning never came out of games. Tom Brady, he doesn't come out of games. And they just leave these guys in there to hand the ball off or to throw it quickly. But if it's me and I'm down 38-6, I'm getting my starting quarterback out of the game.
Well, of course, case was with Manning at Denver. Here's a 2nd and 9. Snap to Tannehill with the pocket crumbling, and the pass again goes to Jarvis Landry. A lot of guys around him there. With Orr leading brigade, that's a gain of 3. He's only up to the 29-yard line on the catch. 3, Landry.
And especially against this defense. They've got Suggs out there. He's still rushing. Doomerville.
3rd down and 6.
They keep these, you know, and the thing about the Ravens is they keep rolling fresh bodies through there. Dean Pease, he wants his best pass rushers, his freshest pass rushers late in games.
That's Anthony Levine getting a little bit nosy from the secondary there. 3rd down and 6. Pressure again, hit as he throws. He makes the catch. Levine was one to hit him. That is a gain of 4. Owasso was there too, the rookie free agent for the Ravens out of Portland State, combining on the stop. So the punting unit is out there for Adam Gase and the Miami Dolphins.
Well, this game can't get over early enough or soon enough for the Dolphins. A disappointing performance, a real whooping at the hands of the Ravens. Clearly the Ravens were the team that played with a greater purpose, played with more energy, and the faster football team today, Kevin. And you put all that together, that's usually the team that wins.
This is Devin Hester, who takes it up after the Dar punt to the 38-yard line with a punt of 43 and a return of 4 and some post-play pushing again. Perriman was involved in Owasso.
So was the tight end, Gray.
Yeah. Former quarterback at Minnesota, Marquise Gray, who has been a part of the offense and the way this team is played. Coming up, the Subway postgame show, joining JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Scores, news, and highlights around the NFL all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Ryan Mallett will be out there once again as John Harbaugh has a conversation and continues to coach He's only had 2 losing records from December in his 8 previous seasons. Looking for their first AFC North title since 2012. And here is a handoff. And this will go to Kenneth Dixon. Runs around the corner. Brought down by Michael Thomas after a gain of 4. Let's go to James and Boomer.
What a turn of events, Boom.
You're not kidding. You know, Atlanta scores a touchdown. They take a 28-27 lead. They go for 2. But Eric Berry, oh my goodness, he intercepts Matt Ryan at the 2-yard line, returns it all the way back for 2 points for the Kansas City Chiefs. They now take a 29-28 lead, and Atlanta has to kick off to them. Wow.
Kevin and Rich.
They are about as balanced a team, Kansas City. They rely on their defense as much on their offense, and special teams, huge factor too.
And getting Justin Houston back, Kevin, a couple weeks ago has made a huge difference.
Had the 3 sacks on Sunday in Denver. Here's the handoff on a 2nd down and 6. And once again, it's Dixon who picks up 5, swerving his way up to the 39-yard line, 38-yard line. Spencer Paysinger makes the stop, the former Giant on the defense for Miami.
Well, this is the 3rd time I've called a Ravens game this year, Kevin. This is the best I've seen them play collectively. You talk about all 3 units, offense, defense, and special teams. And this is what John Harbaugh talked about on Friday about December football. This is what the Ravens live for, and he really felt like his team was peaking at the right time. The defense has been outstanding. The kicking game's been solid. We've talked about the best kicker in football right now and Justin Tucker. But the play of the offense, and in particular Joe Flacco, to me today was the big story.
Dixon on 3rd and 1 picks up 3, and Submarines for a first. Sue is resting on him, and out to the 41. We've reached the 2-minute warning in Baltimore. Coming up in the Subway postgame show, JB and Company scores, news, highlights. The Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York. The Baltimore Ravens on the way to their 7th win. They began the season 3-0, then 4 consecutive losses. Now they have won 4 of 5. In the victory formation on a day where Joe Flacco threw 4 touchdown passes and a pick. Ryan Mallett is at quarterback right now, finishing up the game. Miami will drop to 7-5. Ending a 6-game winning streak, and this is their remaining schedule.
Yeah, you look at that schedule, Kevin. Arizona, I don't care what's going on with their record. They're still a good football team, a well-coached team. Then they've got 3 of their last 4 games, divisional games, and 2 of them, at home. On the road against the Jets and Buffalo. And look, they've got to be able to regroup. And I think, offensively, the key to it is to be able to get off to better starts and have the ability to hand the football to your best player right now, and that's Jay Ajayi, the running back. If they're not able to have balance offensively, this team is going to struggle. And on the other side of it, I mean, this is probably their most disappointing performance defensively. I mean, Flacco just came out, threw the ball 47 times, Kevin. He had plenty of time back there in the pocket. They didn't get near him, and they had no answer in terms of covering the tight ends in the middle of the field.
3 interceptions today on Tannehill. We saw him moments ago. He did throw a touchdown pass. A rushing touchdown for Baltimore moments ago. This is the most difficult remaining schedule in the NFL. 3rd down and 12. Football Outsiders is calculated, and they have ranked it, and that'll do it. Well, tough trying to win on the road, Rich, in December against a contending team, and Miami found that out this afternoon firsthand.
For some reason, Baltimore has always been tough here at home, but especially late in the season. And Kevin, I mentioned the inconsistent kind of start to the season for Flacco, but historically he's played his best football late in the season.
Flacco 381 yards through the air. The 4 touchdown pass is effective. This is the way the AFC playoff picture looks right now. Miami would be on the outside looking in. Baltimore solidifies their place atop the AFC North. And Baltimore wins today 38-6. Coming up next, the Subway postgame show. For Rich Gannon and Chris Fisher, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long from Baltimore and happy holidays. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
All right, so we see